When a black mother and her two young children are forced to consider an old van and a Walmart parking lot as their home, they never even in their wildest dreams imagined that their lives were about to change forever. A stranger, someone who previously only appeared in newspapers and on television, would arrive and do things that no one could have anticipated on a freezing December evening. Howling winds carried biting cold that chilled to the bone. It's only December, and it's already this cold. A woman in her 40s huddled into a bulky coat sighed softly before quickly merging into the bustling crowd, hurrying into the nearby Walmart store. No one noticed the small family quietly living in the far corner of the parking lot where darkness and thick snow nearly swallowed everything. There inside the old faded van, Maria and her two young children were seeking sleep amidst the frigid winter night. The gaps in the van were stuffed with old clothes to block the wind from seeping in Lana. A 9-year-old girl sat with her head resting against the window, her eyes wide open, watching the distant lights. Meanwhile, Darrell, a 5-year-old boy, curled up in the back seat, tightly hugging an old teddy bear. He had brought when they left their old home. The family had nothing but the van for shelter as people walked by. No one noticed them. They were like an invisible part of this space immersed in the silence of the night between the enchanting lights of the supermarket and the cold invading every nook and cranny. Maria had never imagined that the parking lot behind Walmart would be the place where she would raise her two children. But they had been there for the long stretch of 5 months. The old van, a vehicle that has been used for over 10 years now, filled with their remaining belongings, clothes, old toys, and a few other necessities, had become their home every day. She tried to make life seem normal, at least for the children. But things seemed to be getting worse as the weather began to grow colder. A new day begins on a cold December morning. Maria sits cross-legged on a patch of grass near the parking lot, fumbling with a small camping stove. "All right, kids, just a few more minutes and lunch will be ready," she says, glancing at her children while her hands remain busy with the soup pot on the stove. The two children are playing tag nearby. Their laughter serves as a brief escape from their harsh reality. The two children run quickly toward their mother. Perhaps they're very hungry. "Mom, can we have some more sausages?" The youngest, Darnell, softly asks, tugging at his mother's coat. "Let me see what we have, sweetie," Maria gently replies, but she knows they have used up most of their donations from the food bank. The truth is they don't have many options. Canned soup or sausages have become their menu for the entire week. The older child, Lana, sits nearby, keeping an eye on her younger sibling, only 9 years old. Her face is filled with thoughts no child should bear mom. She whispers, "How much longer do we have to stay here?" Maria chokes up. She has no specific answer. "I'm trying, honey, just a little more." "Okay." Maria tries to comfort her, but inside she feels the weight of her daughter's words every night as she tries to sleep in the cramped van, feeling the biting winter wind. Similar thoughts keep repeating in her mind. Why did things turn out this way? Christmas is approaching, but there's no warm room, no Christmas tree, no bright neon lights, no light at the end of the tunnel. She had reassured herself countless times that things would get better, but reality remained unchanged while she tried to hide her pain from her children. Even they could sense her silent despair. However, despite all the difficulties, Maria refused to give up, clinging to the hope that perhaps everything would change her life. Now revolved around finding a safe shelter for her children and trying to secure a stable job. But in times like these, even the smallest hopes were hard to maintain as each day was a battle for survival. When her children laughed in the distance, she whispered a silent prayer. "Please let a miracle happen for us." Perhaps God had heard that prayer and that something unexpected would soon occur for Maria and her children. For now, they continued to eat lunch with just a few slices of bread and a pot of soup. A silent ENT atmosphere enveloped them, as if an invisible weight pressed down on the weary family's minds. In the afternoon, as Maria was tidying up inside the car, she heard the roar of a powerful engine rolling over the gravel. She looked up and saw a luxurious Tesla pulling up nearby. Before Maria could gather her belongings, the driver's door opened and a man stepped out. She was utterly astonished to discover that it was Elon Musk. Although he was dressed quite simply in a jacket and dark jeans, that familiar face was unmistakably Elon Musk. Maria couldn't believe she was meeting the world's #1 billionaire. Under such circumstances, she wondered what Elon was doing there dressed so casually, But she quickly dismissed the thought, convincing herself that he was just an ordinary person and could easily be heading to the supermarket while Maria continued tidying up. The two children were playing in the distance. These were the rare moments they could forget their harsh reality. The two had formed a small soccer team right in the parking lot, kicking the ball around the parked cars. Lana softly said, "I wish Dad was still here. We wouldn't have to live in the van, and Mom wouldn't have to cry every night." The little girl sighed like an adult. Perhaps circumstances had forced her to grow up sooner. Meanwhile, Darnell was too young to fully understand what the family was going through. His tender voice, eager, responded, "And Dad would take us to the supermarket to buy yummy food. I haven't had candy in a long time." Darnell's eyes suddenly sparkled. Maybe he was reminiscing about moments of enjoying colorful candies, but the joy didn't last. "When will we get home, Lana? I'm so tired of the soup and the dry bread." The boy's face fell, his eyes looking toward the nearby Walmart store. Lana didn't know what to say to comfort him because she herself was feeling confused as the two were lost in thought. Lana couldn't control herself and kicked the ball too hard, sending it straight into a man stepping out of Walmart, causing the items in his two bags to fall to the ground. Both children quickly ran back, looking worried, hurriedly saying, "We're sorry. We didn't mean to." They didn't want to cause trouble, knowing their mother would be very angry. Darnell couldn't contain his emotions. He pouted, "I'm sorry, you can make us do whatever you want, but please don't tell our mom. Mom doesn't have enough money to replace these things for you." Then both children started crying. The man turned out to be Elon Musk. He stood still for a moment. First surprised, then with a gentle smile, he bent down and picked up the ball. Lana and Darnell were still crying bitterly, both repeatedly apologizing through their sobs. Elon gently wiped the children's heads and softly said, "First, you two need to stop crying, or I'll tell your mom." Upon hearing their mother's voice, the children immediately stopped crying. Darnell tried to stifle his sobs, his face turning bright red. Elon couldn't help but chuckle at their reaction. "It's okay, just a little bump. Nothing serious. I won't tell your mom, but you two can help me with something." Elon Musk playfully winked. "What do you need us to do?" The two children widened their eyes in surprise. "It's help me pick up the stuff." Elon smiled. "Oh, right, you forgot the children." Quickly helped the man gather the scattered items from the ground. Suddenly, Darnell spotted a colorful lollipop that looked very tempting. The little boy froze his small hands, swiftly picking up the candy, but hesitating to put it in his pocket. Seeing the hesitation on Dan's face, Elon thought the boy might ask to keep the lollipop or even take it. But the next action surprised him, despite his lingering desire. Darnell decided to place the lollipop back into the bag. Elon didn't understand why he sighed with relief 3 minutes later, once everything was settled in the bag. Elon smiled and said, "Thank you, you two, because you've been so well behaved. I'll give each of you a lollipop." Okay, just then, Darnell excitedly reached out to take one, but his older sister Lana quickly stopped him in time. It's our fault you dropped your stuff earlier. That's something we should do." Darnell protested. "Come on, she gave it to us." "I want the candy." Lana firmly replied, "But Mom taught us not to accept gifts from strangers." Elon was momentarily surprised by the girl's behavior. "All right, then I'll ask your mom for permission. You're coming with your mother, right?" Darnell was eagerly waiting for the lollipop when he quickly responded, "My mom is over there. We live in the van at the end of the lot." Lana interrupted angrily, but this time Darnell didn't listen. "He just wants to meet our mom and ask permission for us to have some candy." Lana sighed like an old woman, her eyes turning toward Elon. "As you can see, we're going through a tough time. I'm not even sure when we'll be able to leave here and move into a proper home. But I've always taught you both not to seek pity from why I don't want Darnell to reveal where we're staying." The sadness on the little girl's face and her deep eyes made all others because of our situation. "That's why I don't want Darnell to reveal where we're staying." The sadness on the little girl's face and her deep eyes made Elon question her age. What had she been through to become so mature at such a young age? A feeling of sorrow welled up inside him. Elon decided he had to do something. He bent down and placed 2 lollipops into the children's hands. "I understand your worries. Consider these as gifts from a new friend. Don't worry, this will be our little secret." It seemed that his sincere gaze and gentle smile had earned the children's trust. They accepted the candy and didn't forget to thank the kind man. That very evening, Elon Musk contacted his assistant to learn more about the children's situation. After speaking with his assistant, a plan began to form quietly in his mind. Are you curious about what the Tesla CEO will do next? The next day, the weather was still biting cold, and the winter winds continued to blow fiercely. However, something had changed in the air, as if a glimmer of hope was sparkling in the dark night. Mariah was wrapped in a scarf sitting on the grass, her eyes fixed on the family van. She was still rummaging through the chaotic pile of belongings inside the van, preparing for another challenging day. Lana and Darnell were playing in the distance, their laughter seemingly the most precious sound during these difficult times. Suddenly, the sound of an engine roared again, strong and familiar. Maria looked up, and this time she didn't just see the luxurious Tesla from yesterday. She also saw Elon Musk standing outside, wearing a gentle smile and friendly eyes. She couldn't believe her eyes. Why is he coming back here? Elon smiled as he saw Maria standing there surprised and confused. Good morning, ma'am. May I have a word with you? He said, his voice gentle yet determined, without any hint of unfamiliarity or arrogance. Maria stood frozen for a moment, not understanding what was happening. Thank you, but she hesitated. Maybe you've mistaken me. No, I'm not mistaken. You're Lana and Darnell's mother, Elon, replied, his eyes meeting Maria's directly. I know you're going through a tough time, and I'd like to help a little. Maria felt her heart tighten. These words were incredibly unexpected. A wealthy and renowned man like Elon Musk was standing before her, talking about helping her family, a homeless family living in an old van. Someone she had only seen through a TV screen was now standing right in front of her. So close and real, Elon continued. I've heard about your situation and that of your 2 children. Let me help you find a home, a real place you can call your own. Maria was confused, but I can't accept help. I don't know. Accept it for the sake of the children. You and your kids deserve a better life. Honestly, you've raised them very well, Elon interrupted her, then proceeded to tell her about what had happened the day before. Maria was at a loss for words. She looked into his eyes, feeling the sincerity in every word and every gesture he made. But we don't know how to thank you, she stammered, tears beginning to stream down her cheeks. Elon smiled and said, Don't worry about that. I just want to help. Every child deserves a home and a bright future. You won't have to endure this anymore. He handed her a card with a substantial amount of money, enough to help Maria find a small home and stabilize her family's life. This is a gift I want to give you. Get your life back on track first. After that, my assistant will help you find a suitable job. Maria looked at the card, her hands trembling. You don't have to do this. She choked up, unable to finish her sentence. Elon gave a warm smile, turning his gaze toward Lena and Darnell, who were standing nearby attentively watching the conversation. Your 2 children are very special. They are the future generations, and I want them to have the opportunity to grow in a good environment. Lana and Darnell ran up to their mother, looking at Elon with curious and astonished eyes. Darnell quickly asked, Did you come to help us buy sausages and candy? The boy's question made everyone laugh, but it was also a simple and sincere question from a child who didn't understand the difference between the rich and the poor. Elon bent down, looking into Donald's eyes. I'm going to help you buy everything you need and more. He smiled and lifted a large bag from the car, filled with gifts for the family. Maria stared intently at the items being given to them, feeling indescribable emotions welling up inside her. This was not just material assistance. It was a monumental change in their lives, an opportunity for Maria to see a brighter future for her 2 children. As the family left the parking lot and got into the car Elon had prepared for them, Maria felt clearly that their lives had changed forever. That winter night was no longer cold. The stars in the sky seemed brighter, because Maria knew that finally she and her children had found a warm home, a place to start anew. Elon watched them leave, feeling a simple joy that was hard to express. He had helped them, but more than that, he had witnessed the power of kindness and the change that a small act could bring. Maria's story and her little children would forever remain a beautiful memory in his life. Elon Musk's actions in this story are not merely acts of simple charity, but a testament to the power of compassion and the transformative impact one person can have on the lives of others in a world rife with personal agendas and indifference toward the struggles of those around them. Elon has demonstrated that nothing is more important than using one's resources to improve the lives of the less fortunate. His appearance, not with the flashy image of a famous billionaire, but in humble attire, was truly unexpected and deeply humanizing. He didn't just help Maria and her children with money he bestowed upon them. Hope, warmth, and an opportunity to change their lives. Elon's words were not mere consolations, but tangible commitments, providing them with a new life, a fresh start, not only with financial assistance, but also with faith in brighter possibilities. It was Elon's humility and sincerity in his actions that allowed Maria and her family to feel his genuine intent in a world full of injustice and hardship. People like Elon Musk are a beacon of hope for those struggling with life. Elon Musk are a beacon of hope for those struggling with life. His actions not only brought about material change, but also ignited a spark in the souls of those in need, reminding us that sometimes a small act, a genuine concern, can forever change someone's life. Through this story, Elon Musk has demonstrated that wealth is not just meant for owning material possessions, but also for making a genuine difference in the lives of those around us. His actions are not only admirable, but also serve as a powerful inspiration for those who have the ability to help the less fortunate, awakening in U.S. compassion and a sense of responsibility toward our community. What are your thoughts on this story? Have you ever encountered similar stories? If you were Elon Musk, what would you do in that situation? Share your feelings in the comments below. We would love to hear your thoughts. If this story has touched your heart, please leave a like and share this video to spread the message of love, help, and compassion to those around you. Every small action can create significant changes in the community, and we can all be a part of such little miracles. Additionally, if you feel that this story is worth reflecting on and you want to see more inspirational stories like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on our channel so you won't miss any of our videos. Together, we can spread goodness and continue to do meaningful things in life.